Hello, I am Dr KNS Acharya, Professor and Pro-Vice-Chancellor of GITAM deemed to be University, and I am heading the Bangalore campus. I come with a very unique background of both industry and academia. For the first 15 years of my career, I used to be a lecturer, assistant professor, and later as the Dean of Postgraduate Engineering Programs. And then I made a switch consciously to the industry, where I have traveled through fantastic companies like Honeywell Technologies, Infosys, KPIT Technologies, and latest one being the L&T Technology Services Limited, all along focusing on talent development for the different industry verticals like aerospace, automotive, telecom, medical devices, etc., with sharp focus on creating new talent for embedded services technologies, mechanical engineering, and software technologies. GITAM deemed to be university, a 40-year-old institution, has done tremendous work in terms of education, producing the right talent for the industry segments, etc. When I interacted with many of the leaders in this institution over the last couple of weeks, I am amazed at the kind of leadership they have been able to attract from various walks of life. We have experts coming from various industry segments. We have leaders coming from global exposure. We have leaders who are homegrown, and we have fantastic faculty members who have a degree from international, national universities, master's degrees and PhDs and postdocs. University has created fantastic R&D environment. The Venture Development Center is trying to create entrepreneurs in the university. I think we are up for the higher game now. With large campuses in Vizag, Hyderabad and Bangalore, we are here to conquer the world and be one of the best in the country. And our aim is to become the top one of institutions in the world by 2040. Now, I would welcome each one of you to visit our centers, be it Bangalore, Hyderabad or Vizag, and I'll be personally welcoming you to my Bangalore campus. India is at the great talent revolution. As per some of the analysts, the 7% annual growth of India is going to lead us to a 7 trillion economy by 2032. That means that the kind of talent that universities need to produce over the next 8 to 10 years is going to be tremendously different. Now, universities have got a very, very important role to play. The Government of India, through its national education policy, is laying a fantastic foundation for universities to evolve and meet this growing demand. Now, people coming from industry background like me can add a lot of value to bring in that kind of an alignment as to what industry needs, what universities are producing, and what the talent market requires. And this was probably one of the reasons where I felt it's an important decision for me to make a switch from an active industry life into an active academic career. The Government of India is, over the last couple of years, is making huge impact or changes in changing the entire demography of educational framework around the country. It is commendable. A lot more can be done. For example, the education institutions are still stuck in age-old practices of pedagogy. The active teaching methods, learning methods, assessment methods have to be continuously evolving. If the Government of India can set up some kind of a framework for accrediting faculty, then coaching faculty to be best of the educators, I think that will add a lot of value. Secondly, the CSR funding, which the government-owned institutions or government-aligned institutions are today getting from the industries, is completely skewed towards those kind of institutions. But I think the industries are willing to fund and develop joint R&D with private institutions and deemed universities kind of framework as well. If universities can be allowed to perform that kind of a role, I think government will add a lot of value in that. Last but not the least, the entry of foreign universities into India is a talk of the town today. Now, there are global funding opportunities where local Indian universities, industry, overseas universities and industry partners are likely to perform a huge role in transforming our economy into a 7 trillion economy. Government need to facilitate through some kind of a standard framework which will enable us to jointly excel and meet the demands that are emerging. I think it's going to be win-win for private players, government players, as well as Government of India and overseas players to make this happen. I come from a corporate technical university background for the last 20 plus years, and I have gone through companies which have really developed fantastic internal technology, professional skills and leadership development programs. Industry is always on the complaining zone that the academia is not producing the right kind of talent that they want. But there are many opportunities where both industry and academia have to come together on a same platform to say who needs to produce what, why, how and when. Now, the corporate technical universities have created wealth of knowledge. Now, unfortunately, the linkage between the corporate technical universities and the academic world is not that tight. For people coming from a background similar to mine, I think we have a role to play to translate the industry requirements into what the academic world should be doing to bridge the gap between industry and academia. That is part one of my intention of making this career switch. Secondly, if you look at the kind of talent that we have in the industry today, nearly 70% of the talent, they are all at an undergrad level who have completed their bachelor degrees and they have taken up the job opportunities. And many of them, believe me, are craving for upgrading their qualifications either through a structured master's degree program or through a doctoral programs or through performing certain applied research. Universities have a role to play to create that kind of an environment where practicing engineers can actually acquire higher qualification while they continue to do. Now, there are some universities which have been doing this job phenomenally over the last years, but the market is so huge that they will not be able to do everything on their own. The state-of-the-art universities like GITAM, who have a rich history of more than 40 years, have a huge role to play in bringing this industry-aligned master's degree and PhD degree programs for the working professionals. And I think we are all sitting on a pool of opportunities to make this model work. Academia over the last couple of decades have done a fantastic job of producing quality talent for the Indian market and even for overseas market. The applied research and the fundamental research, both of them have their own place. The varieties of programs which the universities have started producing is amazing. Now, where industry can add a lot of value to academia is, number one, is help create, upgrade the curriculum, pedagogy methods, industry case studies, and also applied projects which can help students to understand how the theoretical knowledge which has been taught in the institutions are really applied in the industry. Industries have got a huge role to play, and it's how the collaborations need to be set up. I have seen that many of the universities, their board of studies and the academic councils have nearly 70 to 80% of people coming from pure academic background. It has got its own place, but I would suggest that a lot of industry people can now start getting into the academic world, really trying to contribute. UGC on its own has made tremendous progress by bringing in a practice called professors of practice. This is to enable people from industry background to come back and start contributing to the academia. I think it's a huge opportunity for professionals like me to grab it and make a huge impact on the Indian talent model.